All right, so hello everyone, welcome back. It's lovely to see you all as always, and let's go straight into the superpower state. So take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer, and go into your superpower state, however you normally do that, by using your word or phrase, or using your anchor, or by focusing on imagining hugging your subject, whichever you prefer. And start feeling your heart opening, start feeling that expansion feeling in your chest. Very good. And imagine that light, that energy shining out from your heart. And if you're having a little trouble tuning in, just focus in on all the things you love about your subject, everything you love about them. And notice that expansion feeling increasing as you do that. And now allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. And now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Very, very good. And allow that light or energy to fill the little you, yourself as a child, any age, from the tips of their toes to the top of the head and out to their fingertips. Fill that child, that little you, with that same light, that energy, that love, loving that child just for existing. Very, very good. And now allow that light or energy to overflow from you and fill everyone who's on this call today, all those who are on camera, all those who are off camera. Fill each one with that love, that light, that energy, loving each one just for existing. And allow your heart to open up and receive the love from the rest of us. Feel that love from everyone else, that energy, that light filling you up, loving you exactly as you are, no matter what. Very, very, very good. All right, you can open your eyes if you have them closed. And we're going to check in with each person as always. So for the new ones on the call, if you are on camera, I'll come round to you and ask you, unless you don't want to. If you're off camera, I'm not going to come to you in case you want to be incognito. So if you would like to speak, you can either just unmute yourself or put it in the chat. If you put it in the chat, if you don't say that I can use your name, I'll just read it out without using your name. All right, so let's start with Sue. Hi, Sue. How are you today?
Hi. Well, I've got a headache. I woke up with a headache, but aside from that, I'm okay. I've been exploring because tomorrow, I was just saying to Steve, I'm putting my advert in on the local Facebook page.
Good.
I think it's better if I hold it up like this.
Yes.
And it's quite daunting. And then it's got a lot to do with where I fit in the world, where I fit in society. It's got a lot to do with money. And, because I'm going to be doing it, because I like it, I really, I love making pictures of people, but it's the actual thing of doing it. I feel, wow, now things are different, because it's almost like I'm intruding into their space, and who do I think I am? But then I know that, you know, if they come to me that they want their photograph taken, but it's still, I get very, very self-conscious about being in, well, it's not only about being in their space. It's got to do with money, and it's got to do with, so those are the big things, money, and whether or not I am, or believing, or this doubt thing that comes into my head of being not good enough, or yeah, all that kind of thing.
All right.
And it's heavy. It's a heavy weight to carry.
Heavy weight, yes. Okay, that makes sense. And well done for coming here, and well done for sharing that, because you won't be the only one. I know I had that, and there will be plenty of other people who have similar challenges, not necessarily with photography, but with other things that they do. So
yeah,
the first thing is, so let's break it down. There's a few different pieces there. The first thing is, what's wrong with money? When you think of money, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
well, the first thing was, oh, no, like flustered. That was when you said that now. I mean, this morning it was a bit different, but that's what comes into mind now.
Good. Okay. Flustered. All right. And so when you think of money and you feel flustered, what are you thinking about money? So in other words, what thoughts are accompanying that feeling of flustered?
I don't really know. It was just a sort of like a kind of a reaction, but there were no real, you know, proper linear thoughts that were going with it. It was just,
all right, and that's fine. Flustered. Okay, so now that flustered feeling, yes. Where in your childhood did you feel the flustered feeling? Nothing to do with money. Just the flustered feeling alone.
I don't know, but the first thing that comes into my mind was being caught out.
Oh, very good.
I don't know what that means.
Good job. That's okay. So very often things don't seem to make sense to the conscious mind, but if it's coming up, then the subconscious has connected it somehow in its own little way. So, so that being caught out, let's quickly check. Can we change that?
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
but how can you change it when you don't know what it is?
That's okay. Just the feeling of being caught out. So how do you know you were caught out?
I don't know. It's just sort of, I don't know how I know I was caught out. It was just sort of like that came into my mind. And then, but being caught out is sort of like being, wow, man. And this is so interesting, because that's what I want to portray in photography, is like being sort of like, not that I want to take pictures of naked people. This is like, I'm saying things like this in preparation for what I'm going to say, but it's like stripping somebody naked of all of this, of the outside stuff, to show who they truly are. So like, I suppose being caught out is actually exposing the real me, whatever that is.
Very, very good. Very good. All right. So when you think of the real you, do you have an image or anything or an idea, or not? And it's okay if you don't. This piece that...
Well, I have a sense. Yeah, I have a sense of the real me that which is like how I know me. Yeah. Which is just sort of like sensitive and caring and thoughtful of other people, and maybe a little bit empathetic, or whatever you call it, have a lot of empathy, and I can sort of like feel people, and people often open up to me when they don't open up to other people.
Okay.
Wow, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, that's all I have for now.
That's okay. That's perfect. So what's wrong with that authentic part of you that is empathetic, that is caring, that people open up to? How is that being caught out if you become that, if you allow that part of you to...
now it's more stuff is coming up, that it's like that if they really knew how scared I was to do whatever, and maybe that's also why I don't really attract many people into my life, is then they would go, oh my God, she's just, like she's just so, because even though I don't have panic attacks and stuff like that any longer, I still have a lot of fear of being in uncomfortable places.
Yes.
That makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Yes. So,
uncomfortable situations.
Right. Yes.
Where I can't get away, where I'm not in control.
Perfect. So, earliest memory of being in an uncomfortable situation where you couldn't get away and you weren't in control.
In my life.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I thought it might be. All right. So now what you want to aim at is to to create the new childhood, the new timeline, where it's the opposite. So you were always safe. You always felt safe. You always felt confident. Now, you may need to change your parents to that as well, that your parents' childhood, maybe their parents' childhoods, to where you come from a long line of people who are confident, relaxed. Now, if you think of someone who's confident and feels comfortable in all situations, nothing seems to faze them, who comes to mind when you think of that? And it doesn't have to be someone you know personally. It could be anybody. It could be a character in a movie or a celebrity or anything.
Well, I think, like I was saying to Steve just now, that woman whose education program I'm part of, she has overcome huge hurdles, and that's where she is now.
Okay.
She hasn't, she's totally confident. She's confident within herself. She's confident within what she does. She, she's very sort of like spiritual in that kind of, in all sorts of different ways, not in any, dare I say it, in a godly kind of a way, but in a life way.
Okay. So now I'm going to stretch you a little bit further. And I want you to see if you can think of anyone, and they can be real or imaginary, who has never had to go through any challenges, life is just fabulous for them, and it always has been.
My gran. I mean, that's the first thing that comes into my mind. And I don't know if she went through challenges, but she always was laughing, had a bag and a whiskey in her hand. And I mean, maybe that's not the best sort of picture to have of her, but it was just this kind of, man, there I'm scared of judgment, hey? Fucking hell, excuse my language.
It's fine. We're not judging. We're not judging your language either.
Good. Yeah, so that's the kind of, she was just so, life was just for living.
Fantastic.
She was an amazing woman and had an amazing sense of humor and
so that's
just
perfect.
Confident.
That is absolutely perfect. Now, she's your grandmother, right? So you do come from at least one person who is confident and knows how to have fun and is relaxed and comfortable in situations. So actually, it doesn't have to be real, but it happens to be in this case. So now with the whiskey and the smoking, it depends on what you want, but you can, and I'm saying this for everybody else as well. So if you have someone that you look up to or whatever, and let's say they have a habit that you don't want to have and you don't want that connection, all you do is replace that with something else. So you can replace the whiskey with a nice glass of iced water with, the tinkling of the ice, a slice of lemon or whatever you want, and replace the smoking with perhaps a game that she liked or something, or an accessory that she was always known for. I'm just giving ideas for people in case they need them. So a certain type of accessory or a fun thing. So what you want to do now is spend some time thinking of your grandmother and imagining what it's like to be her, and then take that essence and put it in you as a child. Is it your mum or your dad's mum?
My mother's mother.
Your mother's mother. So make sure your mum has that from childhood, and then put it in you. And whether she went through challenges or not really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You want to create it that she never went through challenges. Her life was so lucky, and you come from this long line of lucky people. And make her a photographer. Make her a very highly paid, successful, admired photographer as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Now I'll have to rewrite another memory I rewrote of her where she was the artist.
It doesn't matter. She can be an artist and
Yeah.
a
Yeah, she can. She can be like Annie Leibovitz, yeah.
absolutely.
She actually looks a little bit like Annie Leibovitz too.
Oh, well, there you go. So that's perfect. So you want to create that, and you want to do this before you put your ad on. Okay?
Okay.
Make sure that you've created the strong foundation of where you come from.
Wow, I've got to really work at that, because when you said before you put your ad on, it was like, you know, the donkey that's got all its legs out and the farmer's trying to pull it.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing, is just a reminder for you and for everyone else, changing these memories is as simple as imagining them differently. It doesn't take long.
Yeah.
There's no time involved. In fact, you can do it while you're having a shower, or during the ad, while you're watching TV, or while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. It's just daydreaming. Just keep imagining, redirecting your subconscious to those new memories, those new references.
Consciously redirecting your...
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
until your subconscious, because not really, well, yeah, I suppose it is subconscious redirecting. I'm trying to make sense of the words.
Yes. Okay. So you know how when you learn a new phone number and someone asks you for your phone number, at first you keep giving the old one and you have to look up the new one. But the more you keep going, oh yeah, no, it's this, and the more you keep repeating it, it goes into your subconscious.
Yes.
And so then you don't have to think about it. Someone says, what's your phone number? Boom, it's there. That's what you're doing with these memories.
Yeah.
So, and it takes different amounts of time for different people with different memories, depending on what else is going on. So you want to do that. You want to fill, and we'll do that. Steve, if you could add the photography, the ad and Sue's photography to the target list today, we'll fill it all with love.
And all the people in the comic-y. I'm joking. Yeah, that they all come here and say, yes, we want our picture taken. Oh, you're just so wonderful. Thank you. Here's some money.
Exactly. Well, and of course, the purpose of this, the power is in the unconditional. So even if they don't, you want to fill it.
Oh, okay. No, bugger it.
That's where the power is, though.
No, I know. I'm just
And so you now, I want to challenge you to not put that ad up until you are feeling excited.
Okay.
Okay. So you'll know when it's time to put the ad up, when you feel, oh, I'm so excited, I can't wait to see what happens. That kind of feeling.
Yes. Okay.
All right. And that's when you put it up, because that's when you'll be in the right state. It'll affect how you word the ad. It'll affect what a whole lot of your decisions and your perceptions and your ideas and your creativity. And, you'll come up with ways of promoting what you do that are creative, that are inspiring, that attract people, that are irresistible to people. So for your conscious mind, and this for everybody else as well, just for the conscious mind's sake, a reminder that when you are offering people something that you know is good, that is going to benefit them, or that they're going to enjoy, or whatever it is that they may need or they want, and you are charging for that, you're not forcing anyone to do something. You're not saying you have to pay me money so that I can do this. They're not doing you any favors. Yes. You are providing something and they are happy to pay for it. So they go to the shoe shop and buy a pair of shoes. They don't expect it free. They don't have to buy the shoes. They want to buy the shoes because for whatever reason. And so they pay. So the perception of feeling bad about charging or any of those, that's all purely subconscious references. The only time that it's valid is if you're trying to sell someone something that they don't want or don't need, or you're pestering them, you're trying to make them do something they do. Then fair enough, that's not nice to do. But if you are just offering something and you are charging the value, what you value it, or what they value it, then that is perfectly normal and natural, and it's doing them a favor.
Yeah.
Because I happen to have seen your work, and it is amazing, and people deserve to at least have the option to buy it or not. But if you don't share it, they'll never even know what they're missing.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's your conscious mind. That's so that you can remind yourself that that's actually the truth. That's what's going on. Now, of course, the references you have are triggering the stress chemicals because of whatever's going on there, but it's got nothing to do with your photography, and it's got nothing to do with what's happening right now.
Yeah, sure.
I'm very excited for you. Really excited. All right. So you got that, you got those steps to take. You know what to do?
Yes. Yeah.
Good job. Very good.
Yeah, I've been working on it for most of today.
Good, good, good. Well done.
Interesting. That headache is gone.
There you go. Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Makes perfect sense.
I mean, I woke up with it.
Yes. And that's, you know, a lot of that is the stress chemicals. And now that you have a plan of action, you know what to do, the stress is coming down. Your brain is and your body are getting back to normal.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Good job, Sue, and thank you for sharing that, because that will help others as well. All right. Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Lisa, hello, Lisa. Good morning. Yes, you are.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Yay. I wanted to read on page 60 of your book. Okay, so the key point about zero tolerance, I really love that. So catching the negative state as soon as it starts and doing whatever it takes to pull yourself out of it. It's zero tolerance for anything negative, zero tolerance for any negative thoughts or feelings, no matter how small or apparently insignificant. And then you imagine, because you're just talking about the stress chemicals, so it triggers that. But yeah, that's really important, because, you know, you find yourself going, okay, why am I thinking that? And then you're going, no, I got to shift it. So, you know, it's really easy to slip into, because the external world has a big impact. So that's, that takes practice, but it can be achieved.
Very good. And thank you for sharing that, Lisa. And it is incredibly important. And I think, you know, a lot of modalities, you know, they work really well. But if you're not able to do that piece, the zero tolerance piece, they don't work, because you can't use them because you're so triggered all the time. So the idea is that, and the reason is that stress chemicals are stronger than feel-good chemicals because they're designed for our survival. So that's why it's so, number one, it's easier to feel bad than to feel good. It's easier to focus on the bad than to feel good, because it's more important to focus on the wild animal that's threatening us than the pretty flowers. And the more you focus, as you're focusing on the bad thing, so as you have that negative thought or read that negative article or watch that negative video, you're pumping more stress chemicals into your system, which then makes you more needing to focus on the danger. And so it becomes a vicious circle. And so that's why zero tolerance means that you don't go down that slippery slope. You correct it before you get there. The slightest, it's the cockroaches. So thank you so much, Lisa, for bringing that up.
Sure. And then for Katrina, it was funny yesterday. I kept getting little companions for her little unicorn, like baby ones. I started laughing, like little, and then that for, you know, little ones, little baby unicorns. It's like she could raise baby unicorns, you know. And then I found another one. And I think they're so funny. They're so cute, and it makes you in a really happy state. So I thought I'd show that.
I love the unicorn. So thank you, Lisa. That's such a great example.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Sabrina. Good job. And Tina. Hi, Tina.
Good morning.
How's your beautiful self today?
Oh, I'm actually good, very good. Day after day, I feel much better. Today, I'm like excited, like you said before.
Hey, good.
I have some good news. I lost 1 kilo.
Good.
Instead, gained 1 kilo. So I'm so happy.
Fantastic.
When I wake up with headache. Probably is detoxifying mentally and physically.
Yes.
And I have sometimes headache go and coming back, but I think that's the detoxifying stuff.
Yes.
And when I wake up and I'm thinking, okay, what I'm thinking right now, and boom, I'm going to the new memories, the good one.
Job.
I don't think about the bad one. Sometimes they come, but it's like, nope, get out. I'm
Good.
doing my job. So
Fantastic.
this is what I feel more positive.
Yes.
And I'm doing exercise now every day. So it's like, I'm thinking, oh, I have to do the exercise. And I'm thinking, okay, do I want or I don't? I have to force myself. And it's like, yeah, I want to. So I feel like I
Good.
want to. I don't have to force myself.
Perfect.
So this is awesome.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I am going to work in
Good.
a week
Yes.
and a half. So yesterday I was working on the memory I told you. We were talking a little bit on the
Oh, yes.
messenger, and this wasn't about the memory I told you, was about different, because I changed that memory with those boys and gypsies.
Oh, yes.
And this is good. I didn't write the letter because I don't feel nothing to them. I don't have those
Okay.
feelings. But the problem was going to school. That
Oh.
was the problem. I didn't clean this. So yesterday I finished to clean this, and great idea. Thank you. I just going there having fun. And
Good.
if the boys are coming to me and they want something like touch me or kiss me or whatever, I just slap their faces and they just respect me.
Okay.
And I am like, I'm not afraid anymore. It's like I feel good and strong and powerful. So this is good.
That is wonderful. I'm going to stop you there just for a second because I just want to comment on that. So first of all, well done. I am so very, very proud of you and so very excited for you, Tina. And thank you for sharing all of this. So just on the boys coming to you and you slapping them, that's fantastic. That's a really good stepping stone memory. Okay, so that's good, and use that for as long as it feels good to use it. But the end result you want to aim for is that they never threaten you. You're never in any. They're not like that. They come to you and go, "Hey Tina, how you do?" Or "Hey Bogusław, how you doing?" And they invite you to play games, and so there isn't ever any threat. So that's
this what I'm because sometimes they come, so I just slap their faces and then they respect me and they're like, oh, hi, how are you? And like, they respect me. They keep the distance. Like, they don't want to mess up with me anymore.
Yes. Good job, sweetheart. I am so proud of you.
So yeah, I feel good about it. And now I'm thinking, because I feel so good, and now I'm thinking, will I be able to change the bad memories? Because I don't feel that strong negative emotion like I used to before. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, so I'm going to be able to clean out of this bad stuff with this inside.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you why. Because you don't need to feel the bad feelings to change the memory. In fact, that's the point, is that we get rid of the bad feelings from the memory so that you can just imagine it differently. So let's say you have another bad memory that you remember, but there's no feeling there. Great, just imagine it differently.
Just automatically to create a new one, right?
Right, exactly. Okay. And that's what I'm able to do now, because I don't have the bad feelings anymore, because I'm happy most of the time. So when I do remember a memory that's a bad memory, I just imagine it differently, and it's quick, boom, done.
Yeah, like yesterday I was just thinking, like, most of the time positive, and the new memories, the new childhood, but the new childhood is like, sometimes I'm older, younger, and it's like mess up. It's not like one line from the little one up, but good here, good there, and it's like I have fun with my parents. We jump on the trampoline, and it's like I'm just laughing. Like crazy.
So happy.
Funny things.
Good job.
And it's easy for me to see, imagine. It's like easy. This is what I wanted. My goodness, I don't have to force myself and the pressure. It's just coming easy.
And so that is a great example of how the subconscious doesn't have linear time. It's just bits of data. So the conscious mind knows this happened, then that happened, then that happened, then that happened in my life. but to the subconscious, everything is happening right now. And so the way it prioritizes it is based on importance to survival rather than when it happened.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So it's like when you Google something, Google's algorithm will bring up the first, will organize the results depending on how relevant it thinks these websites are to what your question is. And for your subconscious, the relevance is based on survival, or what it thinks is survival. It doesn't mean that it means survival to the conscious mind. And it doesn't matter when it happened. Just like with those websites, it doesn't really matter when they were created. It's about whether they're relevant or not.
Yeah. And yesterday, something amazing happened,
Yes.
which I was surprised. I don't know if I want to say. I don't know. I'm a little bit shy.
That's okay. And you don't have to say it, but if you would like to, we also would love to hear it.
Maybe I'm going to tell Steve, and then he will maybe mention different way, because I don't want to say to everybody how I was in the past. I'm really embarrassed about it.
Okay, and that's okay.
But amazing things happened yesterday. I was shocked, and it was so good. Me and my daughter, we had amazing thing, including her father, my ex-husband. So this was good stuff yesterday. It was like,
how fantastic.
Just generally, I'm going to tell you, it was awesome thing, which I was surprised. My daughter too was shocked, and it was amazing thing. I'm going to tell to you, Steve, and you're going to maybe mention different way, because there is something in my past I don't want to say.
All right. And that's absolutely fine. And I am so excited for you and so grateful that you're sharing how, this beautiful example that you are.
Yeah, like I feel things are getting, I can see the difference now. So it's like changing stuff, everything around me, and I'm very happy. And thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough, you and Steve, for help.
You're so welcome. You're so very, very welcome.
I just couldn't go out from that deep hole where I was.
Yes. And you're not alone. And so that's why I'm so excited that you're sharing this, because there will be people who are where you were watching this and going, okay, so it's possible.
And I want to say something, like whatever who is watching, like many times I just wanted to give up, and I say never gonna work anything for me, because whatever I try never works. But I was like taking breaks, and I say, and again I try, and again I try, and like now I know I am a little bit higher on the surface.
You've leveled up.
I'm gonna go more up.
Yay! Oh,
the worst is behind me. I feel this way.
I am so grateful for you, and so thrilled for you, and excited for you. So thank you, Tina, and thank you so much for sharing that. And well done you for turning up every day here.
Thank you.
All the different ups and downs. Very, very good. Good job. All right, and then moving on to Chris. Hi, Chris. Oh, while Chris is unmuting herself, I just want to also mention for those who may benefit, Tina has started on the Happy Coffee, and that is one of the benefits of the Happy Coffee is increasing those feel-good chemicals that enable you to do the work. So it doesn't mean you can just take the Happy Coffee and then watch the news and feel bad all the time. It means that it gives you that leg up, that little boost to be able to do the work. And I'm just going to unmute you, Tina. Is that right?
Yes, I think the coffee helps me a lot. Okay. And from day one, I start to feel it. Like I was thinking, I don't know if this is going to work for me, because never ever works for me. But this is working.
You can feel the difference. Yes, very good. So, so for those, I'm unfortunately, it's only in the US, America, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand at the moment. We are waiting for it to go into the rest of the countries, and once it's in there, we'll let you know. But in the meantime, if you're in one of those countries, you have an extra boost, an extra tool, and a benefit to help you get that leg up. All right. So thank you, Tina. Chris, yay! How are you
Hello.
today?
Oh, well, I was about to say, I don't know about the happy coffee. I'm thinking it's that lovely hairdo that Tina is showing
It is
at the moment. Lovely. And so that's that. And oh, I've put a testimony, or at least I've written something on Facebook with your most recent you've added the video. So I wanted so long to write stuff on Facebook. I'm just not I don't know much about Facebook. So maybe you'll find it and you can put it somewhere useful.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that, Chris. We appreciate all feedback and sharing. Thank you.
Okay. Well, because I want others to benefit, because this is so good. And the little bit of something you can help me with in this moment is I'm doing a little bit of work, and I've come to this, I keep writing the same words, feeling let down, letting myself down. So I've come to the point of thinking that the reference seems to be life has let me down.
Yes.
Where in childhood did I feel let down? I can't say I have a specific, I don't have anything specific.
Okay.
Where might I go with that?
All right, good question. So if there's nothing specific in your childhood that comes to mind about being let down, ask yourself, how do you know you've been let down? How do you know life let you down? What is it that gives you that? How do you know that?
Yeah, okay. Well, I do.
Yeah, so there'll be specific things like, well, I know because I had like in my case, I had these amazing dreams and I worked so hard and I tried so hard and I did what I was told, and yet I didn't get the results. So that was how I saw life had let me down, or God or the universe or whatever we believe in. So then that was, so then how does that bit feel? So it may not be actually letting down. Being let down might just be a little bridge to the actual feeling. And then what's that feeling? And then see if you can find that in your childhood. The other place you can go is, how do you know about being let down? So was someone else in your childhood talking about being let down? It's saying to you, don't let me down, or you've let me down. Those are other places that you can find resources, references.
Oh, yeah, it could be my mum. Could be mum. That could be mum. That's feeling very mummy-ish.
Yes, there you go. There you go. So then if you find stuff like that, of course, have the person say the opposite, positive, empowering. And with those, very often you need a stepping stone so that you did whatever it was that they were complaining about, and their reaction was completely different and supportive and loving, and it's all right, don't worry about it. You must never worry about that. And then that stepping stone memory, final memory is that whatever it was that they said you let down, you never did it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's all loving and supportive and
so she felt I think she felt let down because she sort of felt she was coming down in her station in life.
Exactly.
By marrying my dad.
That's it.
So what, can I unmarry them, or can I
So
in some of my stories, I can tell you, they are not even married. They are having a lovely romantic affair. I think that's much.
Well, that's lovely. And the answer is you can do anything in your mind. Now, what you're going to do is check what's that going to mean to your subconscious. So, for example, instead of I think you're right. Your mum may well have had that same feeling of life has let me down, right? So so she was modeling that for you, and you automatically, use that as an example of how to live and how to be in the world. But what I would do is, you can make them not married, but what I would do is change your dad so that your dad was on the same level as your mum. So they were both wealthy, society people, whatever that ideal would be. Rather than making them not married, just make them that they were both like that, and they were happy and in love, and life was just so easy for them. And
Okay.
a way to reinforce those kind of memories, and this is for everybody, is to hear other people talking about it. So imagine other people in the family or the neighbors or whatever saying, "Oh, you know, they are so lucky. They are so much in love. They've always been this way. They've always been so lucky. Everything they touch turns to gold." You know, whatever it is that you want to, so create new memories of other people saying it, because that also helps to reinforce.
That's lovely.
Does that sound good? Good
That's
job.
very
Chris.
good. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Lovely.
Good. And Katrina. Hi, Katrina.
I would do, right, I was doing beautifully until Tina spoke.
Okay. Great. He was
I
great.
was doing really well, and then all of a sudden, oh my God. So can you do it without the coffee?
Yes.
Can you get to where
Okay,
Tina?
so that's what, okay, so let me explain. So we haven't had the coffee up until now. You know, this is a very new thing that we've come across. So we've done it without the coffee, and other people have done it without the coffee. The coffee is literally just a leg up. So, you know, like you've ridden horses. So you know how when you need to get onto a horse and you don't have somebody to help, or there's no saddle, so you have to climb onto a fence or something to get onto the horse. That's what we're doing. So we're climbing onto fences, we're finding different things to be able to get up onto that horse. Now the coffee is just somebody doing this with the, you know, to give you that leg up.
Okay.
So the coffee makes it easier, but you do not need it in order to get the results. That's very, very important, because what you're doing, where you're putting your focus, is determining what chemicals you're producing. So, you know, when you're focusing on something good, when you're focusing on something bad, that's determining the chemicals. Now, what the coffee does is it gives that little boost of feel-good chemicals so that it makes it easier to focus on the good stuff or to practice the new memories and that kind of thing. Does that help?
What I could do is pretend that I'm drinking the coffee.
Absolutely. A very good idea. Yes. And put a little smiley face on your cup to remind you.
Okay.
A little post-it note with a smiley face on it.
I'll just jump in real quickly. You know, there's also some really good scientific evidence showing that just doing some physical exercise is another great way of putting those feel-good chemicals in your brain as well. You know, so for it's our goal to put out as much as we can, to offer as many things that will help people get to that place. But ultimately, it's about what can I be doing to get myself into that feel-good state. So, and once you start generating the ability to do that, and that you know that you have the ability to do that on your own, you'll have less and less need for the training wheels. Am I saying that right, Odile? Do you feel like you would agree with that?
Yes, I would. And, you know, I mean, we're drinking the coffee because we like the effects and we're getting other benefits from it and that kind of thing. But if we run out of the coffee, it doesn't matter. You know, it's just a little bonus. It's a boost. But absolutely, what you don't want to have to rely on anything outside of yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes me feel.
And there's no need. There's no need to rely on anything outside yourself. You do have it all. It's just about whether it's easier or not. That's all.
Okay. Right.
And you're doing brilliantly. You really are.
All right. Thank you. So today, with glasses probably. Today what? Yes, I'm the boss. So yesterday's memory has changed. I am valuable, priceless, and I choose to love me now.
Okay.
And I was lovingly spoilt with gifts, hugs, affection, praise, support. My mum loved spoiling me because I was so adorable. I had the best mum in the whole wide world.
I love it. That is fantastic, Katrina. And I'd like to add, your mum had the best little girl in the whole wide world.
No, thank you. Yeah.
And she writes that in your cards, your birthday cards, and perhaps she has a plaque made, you know, one of those beautiful little things that embroidered or whatever, put on your wall. I have the best daughter in the whole wide world, or something like that.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, good job. I am so excited for you and so proud of you. You're a beautiful, shiny example. And thank you so much for sharing it.
Okay. Can I ask one quick sentence or question?
Of course.
Something just come up today. I don't like being ignored. I seem to hold a grudge when you don't keep your word. Like you say you're going to do something and then you don't. I actually am quite aware that I hold a grudge. Now, I wonder why.
Oh, I know that so well. That was definitely a big thing with me. And you know, I had that little piece left that I shared with you, I don't know, a couple of days ago. So there's that thing of being ignored. I was really, it was very intense. I mean, it was painful to me. It was physically painful when I was ignored. And so where that comes from, and you know, knowing a little bit now about your original childhood, that'll come from being ignored as a child, not being heard, not being respected, not being understood, and all of that kind of not being acknowledged. So what you want to do is, so it's not about now, go to your childhood and create new memories where you were the center of attention always. And, you know, in a different family, you absolutely would have been, being the only little girl, doted on. Fantastic. You know, you got all the attention. That's number one. And then the second thing I would do is create new memories of being the only child as well. So you want both of those.
Okay.
Okay, so you were the only child and your parents were always there, and create memories of you, like I said before, walking into the room and their faces light up. In addition to that, create memories of them being busy with something. They're talking or they're working or they're busy doing whatever. And you walk in and say, Mum or Dad, and they drop everything. Go, yes, sweetheart. They're always, you are the priority.
Okay, yeah, but how does that sort out? This is happening today, this week.
Yes.
How do I let go of?
Yes. Okay. So do those childhood memories. That's very important, because that is where it's, even though you're experiencing it now, it's actually the stress chemicals, the emotions about it are coming from then. And of course, that also affects how we communicate and the choices we make and what we notice in that. So it will affect how you chase someone, or how you know, communicate with them in the first place, or to keep it in alignment with this feeling of being ignored. So that just on a practical level, there's that. Now, we will also, Steve, if you can add it to the list, please. In the meantime, while you're changing those childhood memories and practicing the new ones, the answer right now is to get into that superpower state and love the whole thing. Love the people, love the fact that they're not getting back to you, love the fact they're ignoring you, whatever that is, love all of that. And of course, fill that part of you that's feeling ignored, fill that part of you with that love as well. All right. And you can also give the little you a hug. Imagine giving the little you a hug.
Okay, fantastic.
Does that help?
Yeah, brilliant.
Good job. Very good. Excellent work. And then Swasti. Hi, Swasti. How are you today?
Hello.
Hey.
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
So, because I couldn't change my parents' childhoods very easily, I did a due justice letter to my mum.
Good job.
And I uncovered something pretty strange, even though it might sound horrific, but it was just strange and confusing to me, and that was sexual abuse.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just so confusing, because I just had this image of a door
Yes.
and then saying stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just came when I was writing. I was really confused.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I just needed some advice on where to go from there.
Very good. Yes. So well done for doing the letter. I'm very proud of you, because although these letters, these due justice letters, are very powerful, Not many people will do them because there's resistance, because they're powerful and they'll create changes. So well done, Swasti. The sexual abuse, so and this, you know, I had this, and other people have had it as well, where you don't have actual memories, you've just got a snippet of something, and that's okay. That's enough to work with. So what you want to do is bring any emotions down first. So get into your superpower state, go to the, you know, think of whatever's there, the door, whatever and you saying stop, whatever's there. Notice if there's any negative emotions. Don't stay there. Don't look too, no, don't dig too much. Just notice very briefly, like sticking your toe in a hot bath to see if the water's hot. And then keep doing that until when you think of it, it's got no negative emotions. It's just a door and you saying stop. It may switch automatically on its own once you've done that, or change it to something else. So what you want to change it to, some ideas for changing it would be that the door is it a door you know, or is it just a door that you don't know?
Yeah, it's a door I know.
Okay, so the door is there and they open the door and it's a surprise. So your family are coming in with a cake and balloons, or a puppy, or a thing that says, we're going to Disney World, or something like that. So it's an exciting surprise.
Okay.
Okay, and instead of shouting no or stop now, you're shouting, oh, yay, or something like that, or yes, something like so your exclamation is an exclamation of excitement, joy, achievement, something like that.
Okay, and also just the idea of a bed in a room just freaks me out, and the idea of now it makes sense that me being in a closed room actually freaks me out. Like I feel unsafe in that, and that makes sense now.
That makes
Like, what could I do about the bed?
Okay, so is the
creepy?
Oh, all right. So is it your bed or some other bed?
No, it's not my bed.
It's not your bed.
It's not my bed right now.
All right. Okay. So that bed you can change. So there's different options here, and pick the one that feels best for you. It can be you can change it into a big bed that you and some friends are jumping on.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you jump on a bed like a trampoline? You can change the bed so it's not a bed anymore. It's a trampoline. It's a table tennis table. You can change it to anything you like. So change it to something, not just something that's okay. Change it to something that's very fun. So thank you for bringing this up as well, because I want to make the point of when you change your memories, because stress chemicals are stronger than feel-good chemicals, it's not enough to change a memory to just, it's okay, it's no longer bad, or even just like, oh, it was quite nice. You want to change it to extremely fun, happy, wonderful, loving, so that because you need more of those feel-good chemicals to counteract the stress chemicals because of that difference in effects in the body. So so you can change it to do any of those help, or shall I give you some more examples?
Yeah. So will the person change as a result of this?
Yeah. So you've got a specific person in mind?
Yeah.
Who was
I
that?
think. Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm really confused. I was really confused about this, and it was really creepy because it was like 1 a.m. yesterday.
And so if you've got a person in mind, and even if you don't know who that person is, if there is a person in the negative memory, you want to keep them in that memory, but change them so that they are taking part in the activity. So if it's a table tennis table, they're playing with you. If it's a trampoline, they're jumping, or the bed, they're jumping on it with you. So the bed, for example, you both jumping on the bed, having fun, maybe having a pillow fight, or you've got water guns, something like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think having the door open might be helpful as well.
And the door open, good idea. Yes.
Yeah,
another little tip that you may want to try as well is that one of the things that may be present, it may not be there for you, but I'm throwing it out there for other people listening, that you want to change the reference of whatever you think you were feeling in that moment. So did you feel a sense of powerlessness, helplessness? So if you feel like that may be there, you can also borrow some feelings of the opposite. So creating a stepping stone where you're stepping into who's a character that would know how to handle themselves in that situation. So imagining, you know, so like in the past, I've used characters, you know, like action heroes or things like that. I've been, you know, for me growing up as a kid, I had I love John Wayne, you know, so I embodied what it felt like imagining what John Wayne would do in this situation. So giving that little you in that situation, allowing her to take on that feeling, can also be a way to kind of change the data, the information that's going on in that memory. Does that help a little?
Yes, it does. I think I can change this because the emotions
Okay.
aren't really wrong. It's just confusion, to be honest. So
Okay, great.
Terrific. Yeah.
Steve, thank you so much for mentioning that, because that is a very important bit that I left out. So for anybody else who needs it, like if you want an idea for a woman, there's Lara Croft from Tomb Raider would be a good one, or you know, any of those kind of. So there's the Matrix. There's a lot of options. Pick a character like that, and even if it's just a stepping stone where you are standing up for yourself, you're protecting yourself, your justice is being done before changing it to the final memory. So thank you, Steve, for bringing that up. All
Can I
right.
just add another quick thing?
Yes.
Sorry, no, we're nearly finished, but
all right.
so I wake up every morning. I've noticed for the past 2 days, and I say, "You got rejected from 5 medical schools." That's the first phrase or quote that comes to mind when I know I'm consciously awake, and I haven't had this for like a month. But why is it coming back now?
Oh, okay, good job. All right. So what does it mean to you that you've been rejected by 5 medical schools? What does that mean?
Yeah, I worked on this a bit, and I think it's the idea of being left behind from others who did also apply.
Okay, very good. So the answer to why is it coming up now when you haven't had that thought for a month is just because stuff is shifting. So as you are changing various pieces of data in your subconscious, it's moving things around, and it's connecting things in different ways. So this is just something that's coming up because you happen to trigger it through something, through a change you've made. So it's a good sign. And it means there's just something left there. There's a reference left there. So then check being left behind. Just check your childhood. How does that feel? Anything there? Is there still something that it may be an unexpected reference. So it may not seem to have anything to do with the current feelings or thoughts, but just check if it comes up, change it. Does that sound good?
Yes. Thank you.
Very good. You're very welcome, Swasti, and thank you for sharing, sweetheart. Good job. So proud of you. All right. So checking the chat. Does zero tolerance towards physical symptoms, illness, pain, mean sending unconditional love to it? Because I can't transform it instantly. So yes, so just to clarify, zero tolerance means as soon as something negative comes into your awareness, so whether that is a thought or a feeling, or you notice something in the outside world, it's doing anything to change it right then. So and when I say change it, I mean change your focus if necessary. So sending unconditional love to it, absolutely. If you're able to do that, that is the most powerful thing you can do. But we can't always do that when we've already got stress chemicals in the system. So then if you can't do that, then it's, look for 5 things to be grateful for. Think of you being surrounded by your color, hug the little you. And if none of that works, watch a comedy video, do some physical exercise, listen to some music. So whatever it takes. So zero tolerance is doing whatever it takes in that moment to switch your focus from the negative, whatever that might be. So talking about physical symptoms and illness and pain, as you're saying, again, if you can send love to it, that's the very top one. That's the best thing you can do, the most empowering, the most powerful thing you can do. If you can't, then do whatever it takes to switch your focus. So because physical symptoms, that's one thing. It's then what we think about those physical symptoms. So if I had, like, funny, Sue was saying about waking up with a headache. I woke up with a headache today. I never get headaches, so it was interesting. It was different, but I didn't give it any meaning. I just went, oh, that's interesting. I don't normally have headaches. Anyway, got on with my day. I drank extra water, and the headache's gone now. But otherwise, if we focus on the thing and give it meaning, then that's pumping more and more stress chemicals into our system. So if there's something you can do about the physical symptoms or conditions, absolutely do that. Of course, follow any medical advice and do what you need to do for those physical symptoms. And then beyond that, anything you can do to feel good, because that will help your body heal apart from anything else. All right, so hopefully that helps. Can we have some little unicorns on the new memories page as well, please? Very good, Lisa. Hopefully you got that. That would be lovely. And some messages to each other. Very good. Caro, the happy coffee. Unfortunately, no, it's not available in the EU yet. But I believe this company has grown very, very quickly in the last 2 years, and they only just went into Australia a month or two ago. So I know that they will get there as soon as they can. Tina, we all love you. That's nice. And so back and forth to each other. And Steve says, we appreciate all of you liking, sharing, and commenting on our videos and posts on social media, as it helps to reach more people who need help. Thank you. So, and I second that. Thank you very much. And extra tools to keep on track. Fantastic. I do Kundalini yoga and breath work. Very good. Also to help with feel good state. So there's some more suggestions there for feeling good. That's great. And there's actually a lot of chats, and I'm aware of the time. So if Steve, if you can send me the targets, and if you can pick any up from the chats that I've missed, and let's go into the targeting section of this now. So deep breath, and whether with your eyes open or closed, go into your superpower state. However you do that, feeling your heart opening, that expansion feeling in your chest, allowing that light to shine out from your heart, that light, that energy, your power, shining out from your heart. And now allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very, very, very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill your subject. Fill your subject with that light or energy. Love them just for existing. And now imagine your subject doesn't want to be with you, or there's something else wrong, and maintain that light or energy. Keep them filled with that light or energy anyway, no matter what. Love them just for existing. Very good. And now let's go to Sue. Fill Sue with that light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sue just for existing. And allow that light or energy to overflow from Sue and fill her photography, her work, photography work she does. Everyone who may or may not want to buy her photography, love it all anyway, exactly as it is, no matter what happens. And now fill that Facebook ad, that she's going to put on the Facebook group, fill that ad with the same light, this energy, this love. Imagine that light or energy shining out from that ad and reaching whoever it reaches, filling them with that same light, that energy, and loving it all. Whether it gets responses or not, love it all exactly as it is. It's perfect. This is your power, shining that light into any darkness. And in addition to this, fill Sue's childhood with that same light, that energy, where she was acknowledged, revered. Her parents were acknowledged, loved, was successful, abundant, all of that. And even if they weren't, love it all anyway. Very good. And now let's go to Lisa. Fill Lisa with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa just for existing. Very, very good. And allow that light, that energy to overflow from Lisa and fill her cousin and the health issue, whatever that is. Fill Lisa's cousin with that light, that energy, from the tips of their toes to the top of the head and out to their fingertips. Love them just for existing. And allow that light or energy to fill any health issues. And anyone else with health issues, financial challenges, fill all of that with that light, that energy, that love, loving it all anyway. Shining that light into any darkness. Very good. And now to Chris. Fill Chris with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Chris just for existing. And the feelings and ideas of being let down, fill all of that with that same light, that same energy, that same love. Whether you're let down or not, whether you let other people down or not, love it all anyway. And let's send that light or energy into Chris's childhood, to her mum. Fill her mum and her dad with that same light, that energy, that love, and the little Chris. Whether they feel let down or not, fill it all with that love, love it all anyway. That's your power, shining that light into any darkness. Very, very good. And now to Swasti. Fill Swasti with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Swasti just for existing. Very good. And allow that light or energy to fill all the feelings and thoughts of being left behind. Whatever that is, wherever it comes from, love it all anyway, exactly as it is. And now shine that light, that energy into that room with the bed and the door. Fill it all with that light, that energy, that little Swasti. Fill her with that light, that energy, that love, shining that light into any darkness, transforming everything. Very, very good. And now to Tina. Fill Tina with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Tina just for existing. Very, very good. And allow that light, that energy to overflow from Tina and fill everything and everyone in her life, including her work and her daughter. Fill it all with that light, that energy, that love, exactly as it is, shining that light into any darkness, loving it all anyway. feeling the power. Good job. And now to Katrina. Fill Katrina with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Katrina just for existing. Very good. And allow that light or energy to overflow into any feelings and thoughts of being ignored, holding grudges, being ignored, whatever that is, wherever it comes from, whatever's involved. Fill it all with that light, that energy, that love, loving it all anyway, shining that light into any darkness. And allowing that light to reach back and fill the whole childhood, Katrina's childhood, with that light, that energy, the little Katrina and everyone else involved. Fill it all with that light, that energy, that love, loving it all, filling it all with, filling any darkness with that light. Good job. And now let's fill everyone who's off camera today on this call, fill them with that same light, that energy, that love. From the tips of their toes to the top of their head and out to their fingertips. Love each one just for existing. And allow that light or energy to overflow from them and fill everything and everyone in their lives, no matter what's happening. Fill it all with that light, that energy, loving it all anyway, shining that light into any darkness. And now allowing that light, that energy, that power to shine out from this group to the rest of the world. Filling it all, filling the whole planet and everyone and everything on it with that same light, that energy, that love without needing it to change, loving it all anyway. Shining that light into any darkness, feeling that power. And opening your heart to receive the love from everyone else here, including me. Filling you with that light, that energy, and loving you just for existing. Very, very good. All right, you can open your eyes if you have them closed. And how's everyone doing? And any questions or comments before we end? Of course, make sure you're practicing overnight. Tina, let's unmute you.
Yeah, I'm thinking like few days already, and because we send the love to each of us problems we have, but we have very similar problems. And I'm thinking it's also good for us generally with all the problems we have, like it's improving our life too, each of us, right?
Exactly. And that
let's say Katrina's problem is similar to mine and the other people too. And I'm thinking like, okay, I'm fixing also my problems.
That's exactly what's happening. Yes.
Awesome.
And the more we do it, so you're fixing your problems and also you're strengthening yourself. You're strengthening that ability. You're strengthening your power.
What do you mean? Oh, strengthening?
Yeah, getting stronger.
Oh, getting stronger, like ourselves or
yes.
lives? Oh,
your ability, so your skill in using this, the chemicals in your system, because the more you do it, the more you're pumping those stress chemicals, pumping those feel-good chemicals, bringing the stress chemicals down, energetically, spiritually, on all levels. Every time we aim at a different person in the group, not only are they getting the energy, but each of us is being.
Yeah, this is what I feel also each time we do this. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And I didn't say today, I wanted to mention, I forgot, like I feel more confident and more powerful. Like it's like awesome. It's like I'm powerful.
That's exactly
awesome feeling, because I never had this feeling in my life.
Isn't that fantastic?
It's awesome. I'm so happy.
Good. And I know that a big part of that is also the work you've been doing with Steve. I know
Yes.
that's contributed.
Oh, yes, he
well.
helps me a lot, because if not this, I don't know.
Yeah. So the combination is fantastic. Good.
It's all
job.
together, so I don't know which part, but I think it's all
And that's
together,
okay.
general.
That's right. It's the combination. Good job. Yay for you. And thank you for sharing that, Tina. Very proud of you. All right, everybody. So we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Lots of love to all of you. Keep practicing. Keep moving forward. All right. Lots of love. Bye-bye now.